it is Jess with Jess Smith Coaching, and today in this mini lesson video, I want to talk about at what point in the job search process should you be prepared to talk about salary and compensation. So, whether it is in the context of a job search or even just in our daily lives, talking about salary and compensation and how much money we make is kind of a taboo subject. And so, because we've all been conditioned to believe that it's something that we should not be talking about, it's really uncomfortable when we're forced to talk about it. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, as a job seeker, it is my recommendation to you that you should be prepared to talk about your compensation expectations on every single interview that you go on, especially the very first call with the recruiter. So companies will choose to bring up the compensation topic at all different points of the job search process. It could be at the beginning, it could be in the middle, it could be at the end. It varies company by company. So the only way that you can ensure that you are prepared to have this conversation is if you are prepared for every single interview that you go to. And I think this is where a lot of candidates get tripped up, is that they are not expecting to be asked about compensation on the very first call, and then they haven't prepared, they haven't really thought about it, they haven't done research, they haven't picked out a number, and so they end up blurting out something random, right? Have you done that? I've had so many clients tell me that that's what happens, and this really can kind of shoot you in the foot later in the process. So I encourage you, if you have an interview coming up, to head over to Glassdoor, check out what common salaries look like for the type of position that you're interviewing for. Also recommend to talk to other people that you know who have this type of role, see what they think your salary expectations should be. If you can get that input from multiple sources, you'll be able to come up with a pretty good idea for yourself and then choose what feels best for you that you can share. I also wanted to say that I know sometimes people get a little upset that they're asked about compensation on the very first call with a recruiter, and I want to share with you that recruiters are not doing this to screw you over. They're really not. The reason that companies ask about your salary expectations so early on in the process is because they want to ensure that what they have to offer is in alignment with what you are expecting, so that they don't put you through the entire interview process, which takes time, effort, right? This whole process, they don't want to put you through it just to get to the end and have you say, wow, we're totally misaligned on salary expectations, and have you leave, right? So when I worked in recruiting, I was the very first person that candidates always had an interview with, and I always asked about their salary expectations on the very first call. I happen to work with a lot of salespeople, so I'll use that as an example. If I was hiring for a role where we had a budget for about $200,000, right, to hire on the salesperson, if the candidate told me that they were expecting to be in the $300,000 range, I would let them know that we are vastly misaligned in our compensation expectations, right? And at that point, the candidate would have an opportunity to choose if they were willing to come down to what we could offer for this role, or if they were not willing to come down, they would have the opportunity to choose to walk away from the offer, right, and not go through the interview process. And so this happened a lot, right? Sometimes candidates would say, okay, yeah, I am willing to consider that amount for this type of role. Sometimes candidates would say, no, I want $300,000, right? And they would leave. It is completely your choice what you choose to do. So I just want you to keep in mind that recruiters are not here to screw you over. They are just trying to get information from you that they need to determine if you're going to be the right fit, if it's going to be something that you even want, right? And so if you can prepare ahead of time and have those numbers in mind, I can promise you that this conversation is going to go so much smoother for you with the recruiters, and you're much more likely to land in a place compensation-wise that's going to feel good to you. So I hope this helps you understand a little bit more about when you should be preparing to talk about salary during your job search process, and the reason why companies will ask so early on in the process. If you need more support with how to have these salary conversations with recruiters and hiring teams, you can check out the Career Calling course below, and I hope I will see you on the inside.